I started Let's Get On With It back in March 2010 with Liberal Crime Squad, a political satire video game created by Tarn Adams. You've probably heard of him, or at least of his work with his brother. Yep, that's theirs. LCS combines irreverence with an interface inspired by the 1983 DOS port of Oubliette. You play as a political terrorist pushing an anarcho-communist agenda to save the United States of America from a backwoods yet corporate arch-conservative nightmare. Or maybe you're just pushing weed brownies. Frankly, the game is what you make of it. There are crude jokes, painful pickup lines, torture, violence, people begging for mercy, street executions. You, the player, can be responsible for all of that. Or not, like I said. What you make of it. I did my time with Liberal Crime Squad across various iterations, not just the final Bay 12 release, but in several community versions. And I thought I was done. No stories left for me to tell, no edits intriguing enough to lure me back. Also, I've changed. The game's humor doesn't hit me the same. It happens, whether it's a movie or a book or a comedian's performance. I moved on. Until someone made me a sales pitch about their reimagined Liberal Crime Squad. Welcome to Liberal Crime Squad New Age, a new spin on old shit created by Jonathan S. Fox. Jonathan maintained the open source version of LCS for a while, helped organize programmers and writers in the Bay 12 community to give the game more shine. Well, New Age is Jonathan's pursuit of a self-described radical vision. There are severe differences and I'm not cognizant of them all. There's no convenient changelog of everything. Those differences include an overhaul to founder creation, to weapons and armor, and all these things listed on your screen. I've been experimenting with the game and this recorded playthrough will be my first attempt at beating this sumbitch instead of fucking around. I will put relevant links in the video description, including where you can go to play this game right now. Note that there is no native desktop build. You can use Chromium-based browsers to download New Age as an app onto your computer and perform some wizardry to get the game to run offline. Don't take it out with me. I'm not your tech support. Also, don't take out with me that it's called an app onto your computer. I dislike the vernacular as well. Fucking don't at me. Anyway, enough intro. I'll cover changes as they come up during gameplay. To my liberal comrades, moderate potentials, and yes, even you, conservative sleeper scum, let's get on with it. One thing I'll note before leaving the screen is that my universal liberal statistics have not been saved. Rest assured, I have recruited, martyred, killed, and kidnapped in my research, my lab work, my testing. Oh well, let's found a new liberal crime squad. We'll do nightmare mode. Liberalism is forgotten. Is it too late to fight back? There are concerns. There are definitely concerns with it, but there are compensations. Living in interesting times. Great stuff. Name is irrelevant. I can actually export the save and give myself a given and family name, whatever I wish, and I most certainly do. Cody Mansfield, that will not be the Christian name. We will opt for Seattle, Washington. That is the classic Liberal Crime Squad experience. I have poked my head in all these cities. I do find New York quite compelling. We can traverse to these areas over the course of gameplay. Well, at the very least, we'll start ourselves in Seattle. We shall be male at birth. We'll choose our tragic origin. Let's begin. In the moments after I was born in 2004, now I have myself a little cheat sheet here for the choices I want to select for this particular run. But you can see there that the consequences of your options are printed out. How about that? What a change. We're going to say American torture of prisoners in Iraq was revealed on national television. That's right, born in 2004. We have changed. Our character's going to be 18. Not even old enough to drink. Getting into a bar is going to be some trouble. As a kid, when I was bad, we're once again going to be opting for A. My parents threw away my toys. I started to hide what I cared about. In elementary school, I'm going to be going for B. I was unruly and often fought with other children. When I turned 10, my parents divorced. My studies suffered, but I continued working. Get some intelligence there along with some computers. In middle school, I broke into lockers and was into punk rock, giving me 2 security, a point of agility, and a punk jacket, which will still fit us. I guess, middle school wasn't that long ago for us, but, bodies do change in shape and size as they grow. In theory, I grew once. Things were getting really bad, and I went to live with my dad. I learned gun safety the hard way. Well, I knew it had reached a crescendo, and I'm going to resort to controlling people here. D. I built my own clique of outcasts, the clique, for 2 persuasion and 1 street smarts. I was only 15 when I ran away. I hung out with thugs and beat the shit out of people for 2 martial arts, 1 street smarts, and 1 strength. Life went on. On my 18th birthday, I went to a party and met a cool law student. We've been dating since, plus 1 seduction and a sleeper lawyer. For the last year or so, I've been E, surviving alone, just like everyone else. But we can't go on like this. For 4 heart, 1 intelligence, strength, agility, and charisma. That's the choice that gives you the most stats. Note B there, violent gang leader, giving you 3 agility and strength, along with 3 firearms, martial arts, and 4 gang members. But I opt to ride alone. A new conservative era. The year is 2023. Following a series of violent protests from the far right, conservative President Matt Dole has resigned in disgrace. His hardcore arch-conservative Vice President Ed Johnson, a close ally of the rioters, has been sworn in as the new President of the United States. With conservatives having swept into power in the recent midterm elections and a conservative majority in the Supreme Court of the United States, commentators are hailing it as the beginning of a new conservative era. President Ed Johnson has asked the new Congress to move quickly to rubber stamp his radical arch-conservative agenda. The left seems powerless to stop this imminent trampling of liberal sanity and justice. In this dark time, the Liberal Crime Squad is born. Cody Mansfield, nonsense. This is a heroic insert here. Grimith. Well, we'll get his birth name changed in between videos, but he prints out as Grimith right now. We have 12 heart, 7 intelligence, 1 wisdom, 10 agility, 8 strength, and 6 charisma. These attributes here factor into our dice rolls. They also determine the caps of our 24 skills. There are far fewer skills in Liberal Crime Squad New Age. Things have been folded into other things, just martial arts, firearms, as well as heavy weapons. These are not all alphabetized. There is the suggestion that they'll be alphabetized, and then you run into firearms over here. I go, whoa, what? And then seductions here at the end. Oh, frightening times. Over here in the attributes, you'll note that health is missing. Heart also factors into health. Wisdom does not govern any skill of ours. I believe that there are some skills that will take the higher of the 2, much like how health will take the higher of 2 for heart or wisdom. We are liberals. Heart is what we desire, not wisdom. The more wisdom we accrue, the more likely we are to cave, to fall out of liberalism, and become a conservative automaton. As for various skills, we got some first aid, some martial arts, some firearms, some street smarts, music, security, computers, persuasion, stealth, and seduction. Some are easier to learn than others. Some you can go to school to pick up. Others are a little painful to learn. You won't be able to get classes on them. You have to learn them slowly and perhaps at great risk to yourself. I wanted a smattering of attributes for demonstration purposes. I also want something that catered to my playstyle of violence. Note here, my health readout is liberal plus 30. That is due to the punk jacket, providing me some extra hit points to all of my segments except for the head. We got these clothes as part of our choices. If you do get multiple outfits, those will carry over. For example, I could have chosen one choice, would have had like black formal wear, I'd have been a goth and outcast and made my own clothes, and we would have been wearing that black suit. We still would have had the punk jacket. Recruits, we are the founder. We have a cap of 6, which will escalate as we rise in experience points juice by, you know, doing things for the cause. Our lover cap, we have 1 of 4, courtesy of our lawyer sleeper. My understanding of the game mechanics, I've done some code skimming. Wouldn't call it code diving. Code skimming is that the game is taking into consideration the highest of your heart divided, your charisma divided, or your seduction, which is divided by a smaller number than your heart or your charisma. I know, by the way, that seduction, heart is playing a role in that. Charisma, persuasion is playing a role into that. Charisma doesn't factor into many things as far as skills are concerned. Disguise, persuasion, and teaching. Heart is going into art and music and seduction. You can see intelligence. Security is, that's a skill that I really care about. But we're going to be able to get security high enough to take care of most things with this character. Sleeper agents, we have Xenia Woodrow. That is our lawyer sleeper. She's in the judge hall. And her stats are pretty damn good. She starts with some juice. How much juice does she start with? Is that 100? 100 juice. I'm going to have her get to work recruiting new sleepers for us. She might be able to pick up judges. She might be able to pick up police officers. And we can utilize those to extract things of value, particularly at the police station. We can get some gear from there that we can utilize in our political terrorism. Also, 13 law. Xenia is very, very intelligent. Damn. All right. That's a quality sleeper right there. What's her how old is she? 25? She was born before the prior millennium. She was born in the prior millennium. Incredible. I don't know how the hell my character wooed her, but good job, me. Hell yeah. All right, so assigning tasks, we have a number of individual tasks. Most of these have up-to-date prompts for information. You can use a question mark to access these to learn more. Note that the Liberal Guardian, instead of it being a newspaper, it is a multimedia website. Yeah. Also double checking to make sure all this is recording. I have this in a full screen, so I'm using the Windows key to pop out of it and take a look. Great, wonderful. We have various ways of making money, soliciting donations, for example. Cares about persuasion, street smarts, also cares about the professionalism of your outfit, and also, like, the more conservative the nation is, the more inclined people are to donate to you. We can sell weed brownies, which will be very lucrative for us while drug laws are very conservative. We could recruit a slew of characters. Some of these characters are weighted to be liberals. Their alignment is set to liberal. Most of them are not. And the game is going to care about what's the current status of public opinion and support for individual issues. So if I wanted to pick up athletes or dancers for heavy fighting, or lawyers for, their law skill, programmers for their computer skill, veterans for their array of wonderful abilities, liberal judges for their intelligence and charisma, martial artists for their hand-to-hand, those are not guaranteed to be liberals. And given the arch-conservative nightmare that this country is in right now, courtesy of Nightmare Mode, I wouldn't be able to get much traction, particularly considering my character's persuasion skill. With that in mind, something I will do is target a group that is guaranteed to be liberal for us. Now, I will say that mutants work as they have in, you know, previous iterations. They are only present when arch-conservative laws allow for this genetic manipulation and heavy pollution. Almost every class of individual has an attribute cap of 40. They can only have 40 stat points. One exception is the M1 Abrams tank, which is not something I'll be recruiting. It's something I may be fighting. The other is the mutant. They have an attribute cap between 7 and 66. So their attributes can end up extremely high. They can also end up being hot garbage. I've demonstrated the power of mutants plenty of times in recorded playthroughs. I am going to shy away from them here. Once upon a time, there used to be an attribute cap of 20, and that no longer is the case, and more attribute points is better, I assure you. A little bit about that. We can study any skill in the game, all 24 of them, for free, and slowly level them up. We can take classes at $30 a day for most, but not all of the skills. For example, Streetwise and Seduction, Streetwise, Street Smarts, and Security are all missing from here. We can also teach classes to the other liberals in our vicinity, in our liberal crime squad, in our building that we're in. We could go to the hospital if we really needed care, and we could control equipment of an individual. First thing I'm going to do here is go on a recruitment mission, going after sex workers. Let's do it. And that'll be what we end up spending the day on. We have $7 to our name, and we're staying in a homeless shelter. This is not going to be our long-term home, to be sure. Let's get on with it, is our slogan. Let's wait a day. Before I do that, though, let's review the status of the liberal agenda. Firm arch-conservative control of the executive and legislative branches. The judiciary has 5 arch-conservative Supreme Court justices. As the conservative and moderate and liberal justices retire, if they do end up retiring, they will end up being replaced by arch-conservatives. All the laws are arch-conservative, and if this game state were to continue to play out as it is, we would reach a fail state in the game where the Constitution of the United States would be repealed, and we would lose. Our goal to win the video game is to get all these issues from arch-conservative to elite liberal, and all 3 branches of government to be locked into elite liberal. We can also, in New Age, access the polling here without having someone spend a day on it, and that's pretty handy. There's no reported margin of error with the polling either. We get to see all the issues as well as public interest in them. And finally, descriptions of the laws. Like nuclear power is proliferating with no controls, and industry may pollute as much as they like. Creating our mutants, and many other things here. I will not read through all of them at this time. We have some gameplay to do, man. You're set to recruit sleepers. I'm set to recruit sex workers. Let's go. I can have 6 recruits. Okay, let's just go browsing through some sex workers, see who we can win. This sex worker here, a 10 heart, 9 charisma, 8 agility. I would not be against bringing you on board. I didn't expect the first person I found to be someone I'd actually be interested in keeping in a permanent fashion instead of, I won't call it disposing of so much as really risking. So let's strike up a conversation about politics. Do you want to hear something disturbing? What? Trans people are just like anyone else, yet they're still fighting against laws that treat them as second-class citizens. Locks, I don't think we can allow that. After more discussion, sex worker agrees to come by later tonight. This allows you this recruit thing here. Instead of going forth to stop evil at a site, installing in a bunch of tiles to like fish for individual people, allows you to spend a character's entire day going after one specific group, and you can see their attributes before you commit to having a meeting with them. Unlike when you're on site, where you can't see their attributes until after you leave the site. Let's go down the line here. You're not someone I'd be interested in keeping permanently. Chic outfit, though. Do you want to hear something disturbing? The prison system doesn't help criminals by providing rehabilitation. So when they get released, they mostly become criminals again. That is disturbing. What can I do? We don't want to organize too many meetings. We're going to make sure we keep track of all of them. You. Okay, yeah. Maybe I would keep you on permanently. Do you want to hear something disturbing? Animals endure unimaginable suffering in labs just so we can test cheap products like shampoo and mascara. Dude, that's like totally bumming me. Then we're going to skip the 17 sex worker. Stats be damned on this one. This one, no, is not someone I would keep permanently. Racial discrimination isn't a relic of the past. It's woven into the fabric of our institutions, holding back true equality. Gosh, is there anything I can do? Maybe so, maybe so. We have this sex worker right here. 10 heart, 9 charisma. Okay. Industries that stop at nothing to become more profitable are polluting the environment in ways that hurt not only humans, but animals too. That is disturbing. What can I do? And then this sex worker here. Want to hear something disturbing? Corporate greed has turned full-time jobs into poverty traps while workers' rights are eroded daily. And then we'll poke our head into this one. Not too bad. 10 heart, 9 strength, 6 agility. Not someone I would keep permanently. If the strength and agility scores were swapped, I'd be more interested. Still, this sex worker, has the potential to become a bit of a bruiser. You wouldn't need a dancer or an athlete or a martial artist to get the job done. We'll just walk away, though. Paulette Appleton is interested in learning more. We'll just have some chats and see whether we can keep a hold of all these folks. January Weeks, Liliana Spitzer, Denise Pert. And it's possible they may walk away. Lucy and Jasmine Dangerfield. And that's okay if they do. We're going to advance in our persuasion score while we're having those 6 scheduled meetings. We don't want to schedule too many. Once upon a time, you could just totally load yourself up on meetings and dates and no repercussions. You'd be great to go. Not so much anymore. I changed a long while back, and I'm sure that holds true here in New Age. Note that we are accruing persuasion, and we're also picking up little bits of skill while we have chats with people. Isn't that swell? Well, I'm not going to go out and pursue other recruiting. Instead, I wish to go forth to stop evil. I want to go to the Schuyler Street housing projects with my punk jacket. We got a little bit of security. I want to get some more security before I go take any other great risks. So I'm going to try these various doors. And it's not going to be that much in the way of doors. That's all I'm trying. And we'll level up our security skill when we leave this site for the day. The game will bank up some more skill back there, but I can't level multiple times. We're just walking through the hallway, trying some doors. We actually run into a teeny teacher, a college student, and a mutant. A change made in New Age is that we can see their clothes and their equipped weapons, as well as their health right here. As opposed to trying to interact with folks individually and seeing what they're wearing and what they're wielding. We get all that information straight up. Our interface here is absolutely different. In this reimagining of Liberal Crime Squad, we're just going to walk away. I'm not looking to go into these apartments. I don't want to wear my punk jacket going into those. I've only got a little touch of stealth, and I've got to take some care. Because being caught inside an apartment that you don't belong in, there's a dancer and art critic there. The landlord is here. We're not looking to interact with them. We're just going to walk right on out. Paulette feels something needs to be done. Paulette has 7 persuasion here. That's not too bad. Not too bad. Pretty damn potent. January weeks. 3 driving. Okay. Liliana. 5 seduction, 4 business. Liliana Spitzer isn't convinced Grimith really understands the problem. Maybe Grimith needs more experience. Maybe so. And everyone else appears to be on board. Hostage slain. The hostage crisis at the Nance Correctional Facility ended tragically yesterday with the death of both the prison guard being held hostage and his captor. 2 weeks ago, convicted reproduction fiend Mandy Wellstone, an inmate at Nance, overpowered John Zhang and barricaded herself with the guard in a prison tower. Authorities locked down the prison and attempted to negotiate by phone for 21 days, but talks were cut short when Mandy Wellstone reportedly screamed into the receiver, "Ah, I am unhappy. This police officer will be harmed." The tower was breached in an attempt to reach the hostage, but Wellstone had already harmed the guard. The prisoner was also harmed while resisting capture, according to a police spokesperson. We'll have events like that pass by, and they're going to adjust how people feel about things. For example, the people are most concerned about soft, luxury prisons. And so few folks want prisons to focus on rehab. We still have 5 scheduled meetings. We worked a bit on our security. That's great. I would like to have some money, but I'm going to wait until we actually pick up some people. So I'm going to run it back to the housing projects because it would be helpful for me to get some security skill too for the next part of my grand scheme. And, yeah, let's do that real quick before I end the video. Nothing too perilous. Nothing too dangerous or reckless. Look at my persuasion being my highest skill. That's actually gone up pretty quick in my interactions with people. I was not anticipating the skill increase to be so high. I'm liking that. Not so damn tedious. That's all I want to do, though. Just try some locks. Job done. Walk right on out. Paulette is ready to fight for the Liberal Crime Squad. Well, I'm ready to have you with us, Paulette. Welcome aboard. Come to the homeless camp. Or I could... I actually had this happen in my testing, and I found this really amusing. I could have you as a sleeper in the Desert Eagle Bar and Grill. That does amuse me. Is that going to be a regular trend with sex workers? Come to the homeless camp. Come on over as well, January. Yeah, okay. That is, I thought that was just like a funny quirk, like the first sex worker I had in my testing. No, that's just where the sex workers hang out. Understood. Come on in, Denise. Yeah, okay. Huh, how about that? I've learned. I have learned they all hang out there. Well, don't I feel silly? Persuasion up to 5. That was a real sharp increase. That's great. We've got some new friends. Now, we could recruit some more friends, but these friends are here to make money for me. And if any of them end up surviving, that's great. Now, they're not here to do prostitution, though in New Age, prostitution does not lower your juice. Prostitution, however, is very risky. And while these sex workers are equipped to do that, the laws are well equipped to handle weed brownies. And all these sex workers, I mean, they have street smarts. Some of them even have business. And we're going to have them sell pot brownies. I don't want them to get caught in a sting and go to prison, but I am willing to have them like risk getting caught out in the open by, say, death squad officers, where if they try to surrender, they'll be shot. And if they fail to escape, they'll be shot. And if they fight back and fail, they'll be shot. It's risky out here in this arch conservative nightmare, but these 5 individuals are willing to give everything they have to make the United States of America a better place. I will leave them with their clothes. Some streetwear, some normal clothes, some chic outfits. There you go. There's the team. They're all wanted for crimes already. 1 count of prostitution each. They're out here to make me money. Go forth, and be fruitful to my bank account. I could go out and sell brownies, but it's dangerous out there. No. I will commit crimes, rest assured, but that crime for me right now, death squad officers, maybe I get away. Let's not have the run in that fast, yeah? But this video will end that fast. I'm out of here. This has been plenty of length. Particularly when I combine it with the intro bit, that's going to be over a half hour. Ah! Take care, everyone. Be safe out there.